Hi everyone, Bandanner here. I hope you're all doing well. I think you've all been very good this week because we've got a Friday patch from UGen, which is a rarity. We don't get those very often. So, the big question is, has it fixed the issues with autocannons and SMGs? The answer is yes. So if you're here for that, that's your answer. It's fixed it. If you'd like more detail, hang around. But otherwise, that's all you really needed to hear, I suppose. So what else is in the patch and what exactly has changed? So, autocannons, behavior, and stats have been reverted to pre-McDonald update status, and SMGs also reverted to their previous stats before the McDonald milestone. We will come to those again very shortly. Let's just have a look at the two new models. M60, looking snazzy. I have noticed on the new models, one of the ways you can tell that some of the models are newer is they have very shiny bits. You see how it reflects the light? I have noticed that on the little windows and things. Much more reflective. I think it's a really nice model though. You can see the new bogey on the front there. The new little wheel. I mean, it is a very nice model. Very detailed. I think they've done a good job with that. And obviously we also have the Bradley. And I don't know if there's going to be more versions of the Bradley as well. So this is the M3A1 Bradley. I'm not sure if that's a new model specifically. But the Bradley is. Again, a little bit of reflective stuff on the front there. I feel like that's kind of a giveaway to they've done something new. And this has been worked on by the in-house team at UGen. I know there's been a few questions knocking around since the dev blog yesterday. But these models are being worked on by the in-house team at UGen. They're not purchasable ones, ones that they've actually worked on and made themselves, which I think is really nice. Really good effort on their part. So I just wanted to quickly sidetrack into the game for the first thing that's actually on the dev blog, which is the new deployment button up here. So this cycles through anything that doesn't have an order. So if I stick down some BMP3s, because we'll show the autocannon off as well. If I stick these guys down, BMP3, all the BMP3s, there we go. And now if I get rid of that, and we can see that now it says ZZZ in the 6 in the top corner. It's very small, but you can see there's a 6 there. And if I click it, it will go through all the different units. So then I can say, oh, well, you can have some orders then. So you can all move fast up to here. You can move fast up to here. And then if I click it again, it'll find me the remaining one that doesn't have an order. And that just means, you know, when you've got loads of units all piled up together like this, and you're struggling to click on one and give one last unit its order, or you've forgotten about something, you can now look there before you click launch battle, and it'll actually take you to the one that you've forgotten about, and you can give it an order. So there you go. I'm going to hit launch battle. There's no enemy in here. But I just literally want to do this. I'm just going to target the ground. Maybe I should just do it with one. Autocannons fire faster again. And they do a reasonable amount of damage. I can't properly demonstrate that here because I'm not against an enemy. But you get the idea. This was more to show you the little button at the top anyway. So let's move on with the other patch notes. So, as I said, autocannons have been reverted. Let's have a look at the autocannons. There you go. Autocannons reverted to what they were before. Please note that when it comes to accuracy, autocannons, along with mounted HMGs and currently SMGs, all have salvo accuracy. So, they're no longer showing real accuracy of a shot from the unit. They're showing the entire salvo accuracy. It's very convoluted. It involves a new calculation, and I'm not sure why they've decided to add it. It seems like a really weird thing to add. Just because it's more confusing to add yet another random calculation to the game that you'll have to do if you want to work out the actual accuracy of a unit. And I'll show you why it's really weird for some units in a moment. So, SMGs. So if I go to the PSSE. So the PSSE have the MP5. So currently their static accuracy is 99%. If you vet these guys up at all, it goes to 100%. And that's the salvo accuracy. But their actual accuracy is less than that per shot. But because it's taking into account salvo accuracy, you end up at 99% or then over 100% / over 100% when you rank them up, which obviously doesn't make sense. So yeah, the salvo accuracy stuff just seems very confusing to me, and it's a new convoluted calculation. I'll show you it at the end. Naled, bless him, the master of code and modding, has run me through this. But yeah, he's run me through how it all works, and I'll try at the end of the video, for anyone who wants to hang around, we'll run through the calculation. You can see exactly what you have to do to work out the correct accuracy per shot. Yeah, it's a bit all over the place. Anyhow, aside from that, SMGs are working as they were before. I expect SMGs are still going to get jiggled around because currently there's like a subset of SMGs that don't have much accuracy. It's like 30%, and then you've got the MP5, which the accuracy is actually like 80%. Ignore the number here. The real accuracy is like 80% or something around there, and the other ones have like 30% accuracy. So there's a big gap between them. So I imagine we're going to eventually see some kind of adjustment there to bring them more in line with each other, but who knows what that'll be. I'm just guessing here, guys. So they've slightly reduced the dispersion for all rocket artillery in this patch as well. So there has been some adjustments to the rocket RT and stuff. All rocket launcher RT gets +5 damage. Sorry, +5% damage. And suppression splash +5 damage would be insane, right? So they all get +5% damage and suppression splash. So just trying to improve them slowly rather than do wild adjustments, I think. The BM21 and the MF70 prices decreased to 210. Napalm decreased to 210. Grad 5 decreased to 155 points. The M270 MLRS and the Mars price have decreased to 320 points. All self-propelled mortars except for the Nona have had their price decreased by 5 points. I must admit I haven't been taking those of late. I've been taking the non-self-propelled ones just because the self-propelled ones are quite expensive for what you get, and it never seemed quite worth it, so maybe that'll help make people take those a bit more often. Sniper rifles and designated marksman rifles, damage has been set to 0.15 HE, so that's the sniper squads. Yeah, 0.15 HE. And designated marksman rifles accuracy has been set to 45%. So that's these ones here. So the proper sniper rifles get 55, and the M14 in this case gets 45%. Fair enough. All mounted MMGs and HMGs now display accuracy by salvo. So this is again that salvo stuff. Let's look at BMP. So any BMP will do. There we go. We've got a PKT on there. 7.62. Static accuracy is 55%. Motion accuracy is 14. And actually says here that the mounted MMG accuracy is set to 55% and 15%. So this is the salvo accuracy. So again, you'd have to do a calculation to return that to its original accuracy state. Yeah. It's as I say, it's very convoluted. I'm not sure the benefit of showing salvo accuracy. If anyone can explain that to me, it would be great. But I don't understand why that's a benefit rather than just showing the actual accuracy of a shot. Because it just means that you're going to have to work out the actual accuracy if you want that detail anyway. I don't know. It's a bit weird. Anyhow, then we've got the mounted HMG's accuracy is set to 50% and 10%. Again, that's salvo accuracy. The MMG tripod accuracy is set to 55%. So that's your 12.7mm. Infantry. Let's find one. There we go. So we got a 7.62, so that's 55%. And a 12.7, which is 50%. And these are tripods, so I think they count as the mounted. So they're now salvo by accuracy as well. So per salvo, there's a 50% chance that the shot might hit, which if you then calculate it back, it works out as something else. Again, at the end of the video, I'll set some time aside and we'll try and do a couple of these calculations just to see what we get to. I don't want to put it all in now. We will leave that at the end for the people who are interested. Automatic grenade launchers also now display accuracy per salvo, so it's not the chance of one hitting, it's the chance of one hitting per salvo. We want a 40 mil. There we go, 40 mil grenade launcher. That is now salvo accuracy. It doesn't actually say what they should be. I assume they're all different. And I assume any on a vehicle will be the same, so BMP. Where's it at? There it is, BMP1G. So yeah, again, yeah, okay, yeah, so the accuracy, maybe they're all at 34% for the salvo accuracy then, so their normal accuracy will all be the same too. Okay, again, we could calculate that out at the end. Automatic grenade launcher HE is set to 0.5 for 30mm and 0.7 for 40mm. Fair enough. And automatic grenade launcher salvo set to 5 rounds. So that's the salvo length, and then obviously the salvo accuracy is created based on that and the original accuracy of 5 rounds, I guess. We'll get there. Okay, all tank cannons get plus 10% suppression splash, which is quite nice. Just to help the tank cannons out a bit. I expect that'll be beneficial against firing at infantry squads in open ground as well. Adjustment of precision bonuses for successive shot. So, for multiple shots on the same target, there is an adjustment of precision where the more times you fire that target, the more accurate you become. I don't know the numbers around that. I'll have to ask Naled and do some testing, but that's in there anyway. Damage splash and suppression radius adjustments. Doesn't say what for. Maybe for everything? Or maybe that's for tank cannons. Is this all for tank cannons, I guess? Adjustment of precision bonus for successive shots. Damage splash and suppression radius adjustment. Maybe all of that is for tank cannons and they just haven't listed it. I'm not sure. Is the answer to that. That's a bit confusing, guys. Increased bomb drop speed by 10%. So all bombs will now drop 10% faster. Pretty straightforward. I guess that's quite beneficial for the bombers that drop from quite a high altitude. The non-dive bombers, shall we say. Aim time for howitzers and mortars has been increased. So they will now take longer to fire. Adjustments for damage and suppression radius. I assume that's for howitzers and mortars again, but just not explained there. All wheeled and tracked mortars cost reduced by 5 except for the Nona. That's the same information we got further up. So it's in there twice. The Mirage 3 HP is reduced to 8. The MiG-21 HP is reduced to 8. The Harrier HP is reduced to 8. The F-104 HP is reduced to 8, the Alpha Jet HP reduced to 6, and the Gina HP reduced to 8. That means that all of these are now a one-hit kill to any 9 damage missiles, so anything like the Buck, these big radar systems, or the Hawk, I guess? Yeah, the I-Hawk, these all do 9 damage, so these things will die in one hit. So these jets will not even make it to the front lines in a lot of cases anymore. I'm not sure about that change. I think you guys need to be testing that and then feeding back if it works or not, or if these things are just no longer getting used. Because, I mean, that's really going to harm the Harrier. Because if you, against an enemy that has like I-Hawks with the massive range, a Harrier isn't even going to be able to get in range to fire before it's shot down. Whereas before you sort of had the, if it got hit once, there was a chance that it might get out on 1 pip of health, and then it wasn't a complete waste of purchase. I don't know about that in the current air meta, and how aircraft work in Warno. You guys will have to test that and get back to me. I'm curious what you all think of that, and how you're finding they're performing. I'm not sure about reducing the HP. It just seems a bit weird. I mean, like, the Alpha Jet's going to be susceptible to loads more stuff. Where's the... If I go to AA, so the Cubs 9, 7. That's what I was wondering. So, like, the surface-to-air missiles of the Tunguska will one-hit kill the Alpha Jets now. Osa will kill the Alpha Jet. Strela won't. But the Osa will. I guess that's the main stuff. The Roland will. The Roland 3, sorry, will. The Eyehawk obviously will. What about the Rapiers? The Rapier FSA will kill the Alpha Jet in one hit, as will the standard Rapier. The tracked Rapier will also... Interesting. So yeah, I don't know how that's going to play out in game. You'll have to sort of do mass testing on that, guys, and feedback if it's working, if it's sensible, if they're just useless now. I'm very curious about that one. Amphibious vehicle speed raised by 25%. That's not unreasonable. I mean, the amphibious vehicles are pretty slow. They were used from time to time, but mainly something used in 10v10s, I think, that I've seen more than anything else. Maybe a little bit in team games. What else we got? So we've got LMGs benefit from distance-based accuracy bonus. So your infantry, your mech rifles, let's say, their machine guns now benefit from distance-based accuracy bonus. So the closer they are to the enemy, the more accuracy they get. So they don't have salvo accuracy, by the way. These are one of the units that don't, because the salvo length is only 1. But basically, they will now do more damage when units are closer to them, because their accuracy goes up the same as it does for SMGs and assault rifles and everything else. Complete cluster rework with clarified UI explanations. So, cluster bombs. Cluster bombs have all had their penetration adjusted. I see a lot of them are 10 now. $15. Definitely wasn't 15 before. Moving on. Brought back the AMX-10 VOA, BRDM-2 and Sonderwagen to pre-McDonald's settings, no GSR trait, no power forward deployment. Probably a good thing. Bit too much power forward deployment in the game already. And just add it to everything, and then everything's forward deployed. Brought back the VAB Razit and Fux Razit to pre-McDonald's settings, no power forward deployment. Cohesion effect adjustments. It doesn't specify what the cohesion effect adjustments are there. I'm sure Naled will be looking at that for us and update the... He has like a little calculation section on the WarYes Discord, so you can go there and have a look at all this stuff, and I'm sure he will rework all that to explain it all. Shock trait speed bonus deleted. Resolute trait reduces suppression now, taken by 15% instead of 25%. And reservist trait reduces accuracy by 5% and raises aim time by 10%. Fuel supply cost is reduced by 50% and all units consume minus 15% fuel. That's really good. Obviously, a lot of supply was being wasted on fuel and stuff when you can't control that. You know, if you go back to Wargame, obviously you had the option of turning it off, and you don't in Warno. Aircraft repair time reduced by 10%, so things should go a bit faster there. Air rocket supply cost reduced by 1/3. Forest protection is now a flat 35% apparently, but I don't know if again that relates to everything or just certain weapons, because the thing is, in Warno, every weapon or every damage type does a different amount of damage in forests and buildings, but they just averaged it out at a percentage previously, so I don't know if that's like fixed for everything or not. Buildings protection is now 50%. Optics power increased by around 10% for everything. So every unit you look at, as you can see here on the WarYes website, has had their optics increased. Now, what that means in the short term is a lot of units will show themselves as being exceptional. That's because there's like a flat number threshold for the different levels of optics. And as soon as a unit breaches that number threshold, they become the next level. I assume that in the future they will adjust those thresholds, I'm guessing, and therefore they will stop being exceptional, because all currently recon infantry are showing as exceptional because they've hit that threshold with this increase. But I assume they will change the threshold and put them back to very good. I'm guessing here. I'm assuming that's what they'll do. I don't know for definite. But it seems a bit strange to just have everything as exceptional. But we'll see. As I say, it's all based on numbers. You just don't see the numbers because it's not on the stats card. It just has the threshold level, which is the name. Exceptional, very good, mediocre, whatever. So there's been some fine work on ATGM reload time. So I guess we can find an ATGM here. There you go. Conkers. Reload time 6 seconds to 8 seconds. Aiming time increased slightly. True rate of fire adjusted accordingly. The GSR trait requires 10 seconds without movement to activate, and smoke activation time is now 0.5 seconds. Corrected error on satchels, that's what I was chuckling at. They no longer damage allied units, so the satchels now no longer blow up the unit that's throwing them. Thank goodness for that. Increased autocannon accuracy by 15% across the board. Increased HE power by 50% and suppression by 15%. Obviously, the accuracy is now salvo based, so getting the real accuracy, we'll have to do the calculation, which again I'll put in at the end of the video. They've done a reduction in rocket supply costs, which is mentioned further up. The bombers reload time is reduced by 20%, so that's good. Bombers will be a bit faster. And then we've got a few specific changes. So US infantry squads replace their M60 machine gun with the M240B. So there we go. Airborne gunners now have the M240B instead of the M60. Then no major change. I think the stats are pretty much the same. But obviously, new model, change of name. Decreased infantry squad M60's rate of fire slightly. So the ones that still have the M60, which I believe are engineers. Yeah, there you go. So their rate of fire has been reduced slightly. Panzergrenadier M113 price increased by 5 points. Panzergrenadier model price increased by 5 points. And the ERC90 availability is set to 3 cards. And then there is something about Jaeger price being increased by 5%, which has been put in Pact, but we think that applies to NATO. And then over on Pact side, all BM21 and RM70 get 50% rate of fire bonus. The East German BRDM2 renamed the SPW40P2, renamed the 2S9 known as Gun 2A51 and reduced its ammo loadout from 30 HE and 7 AP to 18 and 7. And 25 was the max in real life apparently. The 2S7M Malika salvo has been raised to 3 from 2. Sicherung's price increased by 5. Again, isn't that a NATO unit? Yeah, command points 25 to 30. So it is the NATO ones. So the Sicherungs and the Jaeger should be in NATO. So SMGs tested, definitely back to where they were. The autocannons definitely working better than they were. So certainly reverted from the last patch change. Other than that, I don't think there's anything to jump out in this patch. I think one of the things to mention is there has been a change. I don't know where it is. Basically, all plane armor has been altered. So that it is no longer the same as helicopter armor. But it is really confusing as to what the big change is. Well, basically, speaking to Naled, the grand scheme of things, planes take more damage from plane guns and much less from SPAG compared to helos, but they get more suppression. It's a bit confusing. Naled is going to update all of his guide stuff on this. Naled's fantastic. So make sure you join the Warriors Discord, and I don't know if he puts his guide up on Steam as well. I always just look at the Warriors Discord, but he goes over all of these numbers and stuff, so do check that out if you're ever confused and wondering. He'll have all the calculations up and available as well, and how to do it all. Okay, so for anyone who's just hanging around for the patch notes, that's the patch notes. We've gone through them all, we've discussed it a little bit. I'm now going to do a little bit with that calculation, so if you don't want to hang around, thank you very much for watching. If you are hanging around, let's move on. Okay, so the maths is a lot more convoluted than I thought it was going to be. So this is the original formula you can see on the screen now, and that's how you get the original accuracy to the salvo accuracy. And you can do this from the WarES website. So on the WarES website, the PSSE still has its accuracy per shot stat, not salvo accuracy, okay? In game, it's salvo. So if you do this calculation, you come out at 0.999744 or something. And then doing it the other way doesn't work though, because this would be the formula courtesy of ChatGTP in reverse. But if you go in with just 99%, then you come out at a completely different value. You have to have the exact value that the original comes out to, regardless of how many decimal places it is. So without that, you get a completely different result. So you can't actually reverse engineer 99% to the original accuracy, because 99% isn't the actual number. It's, as I say, 0.9999744, I think. Yeah. Point being, you can't make any sense of this to reverse it back. It is what it is. That's all you get. It's such a... I don't understand why this has been put in. Without the WarES website, we would have no idea now what the accuracy per shot is. How do they work it out? They're taking it from the game file, because in the game file, it still has the accuracy per shot. This is just a visual thing they've added to the stats card. Why? Why is salvo accuracy a thing? I've just spent an hour racking my brain how to reverse this, and now I know why I can't. Because I was basically doing the same calculation and not getting anything from 99%, and then it eventually dawned on me. It's because I'm putting in 99% and not the actual elongated number, the, you know, the 0.9999, whatever, you know, that is why. So if you don't have the exact number, you can't reverse engineer it anyway. It's just like more mystic nonsense on the unit cards. Come on, Eugen. Why? What is the point in this? So yeah, there's your maths. It is what it is. It's very, yeah, you can't really reverse engineer it because you don't have the correct data in game. You're better off going to the WarES website and getting the real data in the first place. So bonus for WarES, at least it has the accuracy per shot still. There you go. Oh well, thanks for watching everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe. Have a fantastic weekend. And don't worry about silly maths.